In today's video, I would like to share with you why I think you should never buy off-plan. Hi, my name is Tony Law from Your First Four Houses, and on this channel I teach people how to replace a job-based income with just a handful of investment properties. So can I start by saying this is just my personal view on the whole off-plan kind of market. You have to do your own due diligence. You have to look at your own numbers and form your own opinions, pretty obviously. Now there are some pros and cons to buying off-plan, so let's quickly skim through the pros first of all. The obvious first one is that you're buying a new and unused property. This is a shiny new property that's going to require literally no maintenance, or at least it shouldn't require any maintenance. There may be a few snags that you need to address, but in essence there's no work to do. You can have your say on the property. So for example, you can choose your colour schemes, you can choose the carpet colour, you can choose the worktop and the door colours, for example. They'll often incorporate lots of modern ideas into the build, like for example incorporated bike sheds, any nifty space saving ideas, maybe a gym, maybe a pool. The big one is you'll obviously get a new build warranty, for example with flats, and this could be a 10-year insurance policy against any major defects. It could be a very simple buying process because the developers have often got a solicitor that they can provide to you that they're kind of used to sort of meshing in and working with. Obviously that solicitor only works for you, I hasten to add, but usually the solicitor they recommend has got the searches already carried through and everything, so the buying process is really simple. In a rising market you can get pre-build profits. So what do I mean by that? Well, in a rising market, you may be putting down, say, a 5 to 10% deposit, either before they've even started work or as the build is progressing. And in that rising market, you could potentially sell this on before the property is even finished. Obviously, the opposite is true in a declining market. By the way, if you're finding this video in any way helpful, please click on that thumbs up button down there. It really helps me if that's okay. So what about the cons? And there are a few of these. So the first of which is they tend to be more expensive per square metre than older properties because you're kind of paying for that sort of shiny and new kind of feel. So you might be paying, say, 10 to 20%-ish over and above any older comparable properties. You can't usually add any value with off-plan properties. For example, you can't usually turn a one bedroom into a two bedroom with off-plan because usually the developer has intelligently maximized the amount of space that they can get out of this property. It can be hard to accurately value off-plan properties because you'll often find that there are few close comparables, and by close comparables I mean recent sales, other than when they're brand new of course, recent sales in that location of a comparable type. They can be harder to mortgage in some instances, although as always please speak to a mortgage broker about this, especially if prices appear to have been inflated. That goes back to that kind of shiny new concept that we were talking earlier on. Lenders tend to worry that if they give you a mortgage, if they lend to you, will they be able to get their money back if things go pear-shaped? Often yields lower as you tend to pay more money for less space, and often the service charges that are incorporated into new builds can be a lot higher in some instances. If you're talking about maybe a concierge, maybe a pool, perish a thought, maybe a gym, probably lifts, for example, these have all got to be paid for, and that's obviously going to be incorporated into a higher service charge potentially. And please don't be fooled when we're talking about yields. Please don't be fooled by any guaranteed rents that are offered. I feel really bad saying that, but it's true. Quite often new developers or developers in general, bigger ones, they're very aware that buy-to-let investors are looking for guaranteed rents, or they want to know that they're going to get X amount of money when they rent this place out. So what they sometimes do is they give you a guaranteed rent. But of course, maybe once that period is gone, you're not going to get anything like that. So they just kind of build that into the purchase price. And in a falling market, buyers can find themselves liable, in some instances, in a falling market, to complete on a sale, even though the property value may have gone down. So why do I think you should never buy off plan? and I hope that anyone watching this who's considering this will forgive me for being really honest here. Well, it's because, in my opinion, property investing is about putting your money into a deal and then pulling that money back out again, either all of that money back out again quickly or most of it back out again quickly. Because none of us have got an infinite pot of money. Well, at least I certainly haven't. So I want to be able to put my money in and pull it back out again quickly. And for a detailed breakdown of how to do this, you might want to click here, because here I run you through exactly how you can do this in a free mini course. Whilst I accept it's easier to buy off plan, why not put in a little bit of extra effort and buy an older property that needs some serious work doing to it? There are places out there that you can buy at a genuine discount. And by that I mean buying genuinely at 25% below market value. Goodness knows I've done this many times, and this is based on accurate comparables, which, as I mentioned earlier, is something that you're going to find challenging with an off-plan purchase. Or maybe look for places where you can add some genuine value. For example, turn an older, run-down one-bedroom flat into a truly modern, lovely, upbeat two-bedroom flat. You'll find some of those within the area that you're investing. If you put some time in and some real effort, you will find deals that enable you to pull most or all of your money back out again quickly. So you can then use that money to go and buy that next deal. That's why I personally think you should never buy off plan. In our completely free property mini course, I will teach you exactly how Liana and I replaced our income with just a few investment properties in less than 18 months. Simply click on the link here or in the description box below and I'll send lesson number 1 straight out to you.